Hello guys, Fish767 here. So this is just a fun commander deck I put together. It's not competitive in any way, shape, or form. I don't have the cards to make this deck competitive. But it's very fun, and it can in fact win, and it has won once before, but I've only played it once, so it was probably very lucky that it actually won that time. But the commander is Zedruu the Greathearted, which is 1 and red, white, and blue. And then it's a Minotaur Monk. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain extra X, where X is the number of permanents you own that opponents control. And then you can pay red, white, and blue, and target opponent gains control of target permanent you control. So the idea is we're going to be playing token thingy-mabobs, or stuff to make tokens that we're going to give them the tokens, and because the token entered under our control, we own the token technically, but since they have it, we gain life for it, and then we also give them useless cards that nobody wants, like Alchemist Vial. Why would you want that card? I'm just joking, of course, but we do give them Alchemist Vial. That's one of the cards. And then we win by decking ourselves, which is actually considerably complicated. So, we have Chromatic Escape. It's a 6-drop sorcery. What's that say? Until your next turn, creatures can't attack you. Remove it from the game with 3-time counters on it. It has to spend 3 for 3. Which is really nice, because that means every 3 turns we can't be attacked until our next turn. Which means, yay. That's what that means. It means yay. We have Ethereum Horn Sorcerer, a 6-drop artifact that's a 3/6 with pay 3, return it to its owner's hand, and Cascade. So, Cascade's fun. Mer Battlesphere, a 7-drop artifact creature Mer construct enters the battlefield to create 4 1/1 artifact Mer creature tokens. And then whenever it attacks, you may tap X on tap Mer you control, and if you do, it gets +X/+0 deals X to the defending player, and it's a 4/7. This guy's actually really good. Causal Timer of the Cliffs. He's a 5-drop 5/4 whenever a creature and opponent controls that attacks you. Whenever a creature and opponent controls attacks if you're the defending player, which basically is the same thing but technically different. Put a 3/3 red ogre creature token on the battlefield unless that creature's controller pays 3. So it's pretty good. We can make a 3/3 and then chump if we need to, or we can just give the 3/3 away. 3/3 would probably not be a good idea to give away. Give away 1/1s because then we can gain life for the 1/1, and so if it were to deal us damage, we've gained the life back effectively, so it dealing us damage doesn't matter. But giving them a 3/3 might be a problem because then it's dealing us 2 damage more than we can gain life, if you know what I mean. Anyway, time wipe in case we need to. 2 white, white, blue, return a creature you control to its owner's hand and destroy all creatures. We've got Iceberg, which is probably a card that we're going to give to an opponent with 0 ice counters on it, but it's X and 2 blue. When it comes into play, put X ice counters on it, pay 3, put an ice counter on it, 0, remove an ice counter from it, and add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Play this ability as an interrupt. I do know that playing that ability as an interrupt, that one is actually a mana ability, because it's removing a mana from it and producing a mana, so I'm pretty sure a mana ability can be done at any time, but an interrupt would be instant, so I don't know how that card works. Volcanic Fallout, a 3-drop instant, can't be countered, deals 2 damage to each creature and each player. Just don't kill yourself with it. I've had that happen. Counterflux, 2 blue and a red, can't be countered by spells or abilities. Counter target spell you don't control, or overload it for 1 more and counter each spell you don't control. I've got no idea how many lands we have in here, so I'm going to go over those later. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. Okay. Dawn of Hope, 2-drop enchantment. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do draw a card, pay 4, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink, and then give away the creature token with lifelink, and you still gain the life anyway. Not from the lifelink, but because of Zedruu, and then you can draw a card. And once you draw 10 cards, it starts to get a little OP. Master Tinkerer, which I don't know why this wasn't in my Zedruu deck. It should have been. He's a 3-drop, 3/2. Servos and Thopters you control get +1/+1. Pay for create a 1/1 colorless servo, which is actually a 2/2 servo. Dove and Hand of Control, a 2 and a blue or a white artifact instant sorcery spells your opponent's cast costs 1 more to cast. -1 until your next turn, prevent all damage that will be dealt to and dealt by target permanent and opponent controls, and it's got 5 loyalty, so it's pretty good. We have Saheeli, Sublime Artificer, a 3-cast legendary planeswalker. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token on the battlefield. I'm trying to read this, but it's really hard because my phone's having a hard time focusing. -2 target artifact you control becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature you control until the end of turn, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. I need to get my phone figured out. Okay, we got Oracle's Vault, 4-drop artifact. Pay 2, tap it, exile the top card of your library until the end of turn. You may play that card. Put brick counter on Oracle's Vault. Tap it, exile the top card of your library until the end of turn. You may play that card without playing its mana cost. Activate this ability only if there are 3 or more brick counters on it. This is probably my favorite card ever printed in Magic, and when you read it, you will understand why this is my favorite card ever printed in Magic. Probably. -1 card, but that card shall not be named right now. Sentinel. 4-cost artifact creature. When it comes into play, its toughness is equal to 1. It's got 1 star. 0 changes toughness to 1 plus the power of target creature blocking or blocked by Sentinel. So it takes Death Touch to kill it, or an additional spell to kill it, or just straight up kill it. So it's pretty hard to kill. And it makes the best blocker I've ever had, besides Fogbank, because Fogbank, you don't deal it damage, but it's good. And then it can remain that tough. You don't have to change that toughness. So if you block a 15-15 with it, and then the 15-15 dies, it's a 1-16 for the rest of the game if you want it to be. So that's pretty good. Okay, Goblin Assault. 3-drop enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Create a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste. Goblin creatures attack each turn available. It does amazing things, because you can then give the goblin away, and then it has to attack, and that's not actually the best thing to have it attacking. Gwaza, Herald, Profiteer, 3-drop legendary creature, human rogue. Pay 2, tap it, put a bribery counter, target creature you don't control. Its controller draws a card. Creatures with bribery counters on them can't attack or block, and it's a 2/2. So that's actually pretty good. We got Bubbling Cauldron. It's a 2-drop artifact. Pay 1, tap it, sack it. Pay 1, tap, sacrifice a creature, you gain 4 life. And then pay 1, tap it, sacrifice a creature named Festering Newt, which we don't have in this deck, so that does not matter. Unless you somehow get a Festering Newt. And if you get a Festering Newt, why do you have a Festering Newt, first of all? And second of all, give away the Festering Newt. You don't need the Festering Newt. Or you can sacrifice it if you want. Soul Ring, 1-drop artifact, tap it for 2 mana. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Soul Ring does. Mism Mortars, the 2-drop sorcery, deals 4 damage to target creature you don't control. You can overload it for 6, and it deals 4 damage to every creature that you don't control, which is decent. Unfortunately, that also kills off all the creatures that you've been giving to your opponents, so that's not good. Culling Dais we generally give to our opponents because we don't have a use for it. That's a 2-drop artifact. Tap it, sacrifice a creature, put a charge counter on it, pay 1, sacrifice it, draw a card for each charge counter on it. So we give it to our opponents with 0 charge counters on it and tell them good luck with that. Skywise Teachings, a 4-drop enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/2 blue Jin Monk creature token with flying. And then we're probably going to keep that one. Jace Wielder of Mystery. So this is the card that should have been in the Simic deck I uploaded yesterday. But it's a 4-drop. If you return a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. +1, target player puts the top 2 cards of the library into the grave or draw a card, negate, draw 7 cards, then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. I don't know why they must be planning on, like, removing the passive abilities or having a card that just does that, because otherwise you don't need that extra text on the Mind State. Tezzeret Artifice Master. That one should have also been in the deck I showed yesterday. Remove the clone and the other thing, Vizier or whatever it was. Anyway, a 5-drop, 5 loyalty, +1, put a 1/1 card, slap your creature token with falling into play, 0, draw a card if you control 3 or more artifacts, draw 2 cards instead, which isn't a problem because we play artifacts a lot. -9, you get an emblem with at the beginning of your end step, search your library for a permanent card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library, which is really good. Spellbook, you have no maximum enhancements. That should also be in the deck I showed yesterday. Take out the Spark Double for that one. So just remove all the clone cards. Elixir of Immortality, pay 2, tap it, gain 5 life, shuffle it, and your graveyard into the owner's library. Woohoo, that card's really good. Luminous Monsters, this card's funny. So you pay 3 enchant creature, it can't attack or block, and then you can give away the enchantment to an opponent. They have the enchantment, and you're gaining life and drawing a card every turn for them having an enchantment on their own creature that they can't do anything with. I don't actually suggest giving it to that player, because if you give it to that player, then they can sacrifice the enchantment and then get their creature back, and then you're also down a card every turn. So give it to a different player. Not on the same team, of course, because that would not be good. Assembled Legion is a 5-drop enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Put a muster counter on it, and then put a 1/1 red and white soldier with haste on the battlefield for each muster counter on it. And no, those are not mustard counters, those are muster counters, but when I say it, it sounds like I say mustard. Ugin the Ineffable is a 6-drop legendary planeswalker. All planeswalkers are legendary planeswalkers. If you didn't get the memo back in, I want to say Ixalan, they did that. Color is supposed to cast Costulas to cast, which is amazing. +1, exile the top of your card face down. Exile the top of your library. No, exile the top card of your library face down. And then create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token, and when it leaves the battlefield, you put the exile card into your hand, and then -3 destroy target permanent that's one or more colors. This should be in the deck I uploaded yesterday. And if you're going to put it in the deck I uploaded yesterday, take out... I don't know, use your best judgment. I trust you guys. Take out something. Card Simple Sundering 6-drop legendary sorcery. You can only cast it if you have a legendary creature or planeswalker on the battlefield, which you should have Zedruu, so no problem. Target player takes an extra turn after this one, return to one target non-permanent to his hand, then you exile Card Simple Sundering, which is pretty standard of all take an extra turn except for the old ones and then Nexus of Fate. Why'd they ever print Nexus of Fate? Shouldn't have printed Nexus of Fate. Throne of Geth, 2-drop an artifact, tap it, sacrifice an artifact. Proliferate. Wonderful. Make a copy of it. And then you can do amazing things. Jar's Familiar, 4-drop flyer with a historic spells you cast +1 less to cast, which is artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. And it's a 2/2. So that's pretty good. Conjurer's Closet does some funny things in this deck because you can re-trigger into the battlefield triggers, and then you can also use a specific card to flicker. You flicker the Joyra, and then you make a copy of Jar's Familiar. And so then you've got 2 of them on the field, and the next turn you flicker it, and then you got 3, and so all your artifacts start becoming actually 0 casts. And there's a lot of legendaries in this deck, so everything's like, I only need the devotion to the specific colors, which is actually pretty hard for our deck to do because it's 3 colors and I don't have the right non-lands and non-basic lands to do it that way. But anyway, Conjurer's Closet is a 5-drop artifact at the beginning of your end step. You may exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. Oath of Teferi is a 5-drop legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent you control, return to the battlefield under control at the beginning of the next end step, and then you may activate loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control twice each turn rather than only once, which is pretty good. Vodalkin Infuser, a 4-drop at the beginning of your upkeep, may put a charge counter target artifact. We have this one here for combo. I'll show you the combo in a minute. We actually have Joyrun Vicky too. A 3-drop, pay 2 exile non card from your hand, put 4 time counters on it. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. Dark Stilling Gate, it's got indestructible, taps for mana of any color. Mana Geode, when it enters the battlefield, scry 1, taps for mana of any color, both of those are 3 casts. And this one's really fun. A Field Mist Border Post, it's a 3-drop artifact, may pay 1 and return basic land you control to its owner's hand rather than pay its mana cost. It comes into play tapped and it taps for a white or a blue, so you can get that down on turn 1 if you want. Commander Sphere, 3-drop artifact, taps for any color in your opponent's color identity, you can sacrifice a draw card. Magistrate Scepter, 3-drop artifact, pay 4, tap it, put a charge counter on it, tap it, remove 3 charge counters, take an extra turn after this one. That's part of the combo. That's actually our main combo piece. Firemind's Vessel, 4-drop artifact, when it enters the battlefield enters tapped, then you can tap it to add 2 mana of different colors. Power Stone Shard is really nice because we can make a copy of it, and then we got 2, and then they both tap for 2 for 5 mana effectively, so it's pretty nice. It's a 3-drop artifact, tap for colorless for each artifact you control named Power Stone Shard, and if you can manage to get a creature that when it comes in it flickers an artifact, you can make a lot of Power Stone Shards, so just saying. Dreamstone Hedron, 6-drop artifact, taps for 3 mana, and then pay 3, tap it, sack it, draw 3. Hedron Archive, 4-drop, taps for 2, pay 2, tap it, sack it, draw 2, which is pretty standard cards like these. And now we have... I think that this is the other half of my mana base. Okay, we got Surge Node, 1-drop artifact. When it enters the battlefield with 6 charge counters on it, you can pay 1, tap it, remove charge counter from it, and put 1 on another target artifact. And then Energy Chamber at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact creature, or put a charge counter on target non-creature artifact. Thopter Assembly at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control an artifact, which isn't a problem, put a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token flung on the battlefield, and then whenever 1 or more artifact creature tokens you control deal damage to a player, draw a card. I always forget about that second effect. You don't know how many times... If I had a dime for every time I missed that effect trigger, I would be a millionaire, because I never do that effect. I've not resolved that effect once. Ever. Ever. Which is technically cheating, but it's sad too. Future Sight, 5-drop enchantment, play with the top card library revealed. You may play the top card library as though it were in your hand, because I win by decking myself out when I have that in a deck. Like, consistently, actually. So it's really sad because I'm actually making it harder for myself to win. Anyway, we got Metal Spinner's Puzzle. We actually can't have Metal Spinner's Puzzle not in here, so forget about that. I didn't realize that had black in its mana cost. Well, it's technically black, but just use a different card. Use, no, I've already got that card in here. Use a Fog Bank instead. It'll be fine, I promise. Metalworks, a 5-drop artifact. If another non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2. If you do, put a token that's a copy of the artifact onto the battlefield. Which is really cool, because then you can do what I said with the Drover's Familiar, then you make a bunch of artifacts, and it's really awesome. Protection of the Heckma. 5-drop enchantment is a source, and opponent controls will deal damage to you. Prevent 1 of that damage, which means that your 1/1s aren't a problem anymore. So give away all the 1/1s. They don't matter. I mean, they do matter, but not to you. And then, remember, if an opponent dies and they have a permanent that you own, including one of those tokens, it goes back to you. So, any tokens that you give away come back if the player dies, which is really cool and nice. Unfortunately, we lose our draw and life gain at the beginning of our upkeep, but anyway. Contagion Glass, a 2-drop artifact when it enters the battlefield, you put a -1/-1 counter to your artifact, pay 4, tap it, proliferate, which is actually a part of this. Fountain of Renewal. That actually can't be in here either. Gosh darn, why did I mess this up so bad? Let's see. You can run... None of these cards are good. At least not in this deck. This one's not bad. Run Oblivion Ring. It's a 3-drop enchantment when it enters the battlefield, exile another target non-permanent. When it leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to the battlefield and returns control. Try that. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. Remember, this is a fun deck. It doesn't have to be perfect. So, yeah. Pacifism, a 2-drop enchant creature can't attack or block, and then you give away the enchantment, and fun stuff happens. This is a Resolute Watchdog, 1-drop defender, pay 1 second. Target creature you control gains indestructible to the enter. It's a 1/3. You can give that away too. We don't need it. Curse of Echoes, 5-drop enchant player. Whenever enchant player casts an instant sorcery spell, each other player may copy that spell, and and may choose new targets for the copy he or she controls. So enchant player, and then give that away because you don't need it. And then we've got an Alchemist Vial, 2-drop when enters the battlefield, draw a card, pay 1, tap it, sack it. Target creature can't attack or block this turn. Give that away. Guild Globe, 2-drop when enters the battlefield, draw a card, pay 2, tap it, sack it. Add 2 mana, different colors. Give that away too. Because we don't need that. And then here's the combo. Basic idea is if you get 3 or more counters on it, then you can tap it to take an extra turn. So this card puts a counter on it at the beginning of your upkeep. This card puts a counter on it at the beginning of your upkeep. You can use this to put a counter on it, but so only as long as there are counters on that card. This card lets you proliferate. We've got a mana in our land base that lets us proliferate, which is Karn's Bastion. And not to mention, we also have Throne of Gath, which combined with all of our artifact cards, such as, I'm going to put the phone in real quick, but such as Thopter Assembly, would allow us to be A-okay on sacrificing an artifact, and then eventually we just won't have to. Because if we have copies of Throne of Gath, we won't have to. Okay, I don't know if there are any more cards on the floor, but anyway, onto the mana base. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 islands. There's a bunch of non-basic lands. Here we go. We've got a Majoring Network. It taps for colorless, pay 1, tap it, put a storage counter on it, and then tap it, remove X storage counters from it, and add X to your mana pool. Is it Gilgate? Azorius Gilgate. Cascading Cataracts, indestructible, taps for colorless, pay 5, tap it, add 5 mana, and in combination colors to your mana pool. Reliquary Tower, you got no max hand size. Inventor's Fair, legendary land. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain a life, tap it for colorless, pay 4, tap it, sack it, search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library, activate the ability only if you control 3 or more artifacts. Command Tower taps for color and experience color identity. Opal Palace taps for colorless, pay 1, tap it. It caps for colorless, Yes, it taps for colorless, then you pay 1, tap it, and you add a mana to your mana pool of any color in your commander's color identity. If you use it to cast your commander, it enters with additional +1/+1 counter on it for each time it's been cast from the command zone in this game. Tranquil Cove gains you a life. Surgery Refuge gains you a life. Darksteel Citadel is an artifact land with indestructible, taps for colorless. Karn's Bastion taps for colorless, pay 4, tap it, proliferate. Path of Ancestry enters the battlefield, taps for any color in the commander's color identity, and then if a creature spell is cast that shares a creature type with your commander, you scry 1. Oh, that's interesting. Highland Lake, Swiftwater Cliffs gains you life, and Meandering River. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mountains. Which is probably not the right distribution. You should probably add a couple more plains, but then again, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. Do you see that black symbol right there? That little black symbol, you may pay black if you do draw a card. And then this one, with the black, sacrifice it. They were in my other artifact deck, and I just transferred them over. I'm like, all the artifacts, come on. And those two don't actually work in this deck because of the way Commander works, so yay, those have to come out. Not that I use them anyway, except for the one to draw a card, but it's like, Fogbank's effectively better than that one. I wish I'd had him in here earlier. And Oblivion Rings, you should probably use a different card, but I've got no idea of what card you should use. Because I don't really have the stuff to build this deck. I built it because I wanted to build it. I've had this commander for months now, and I wanted to build a deck for it, and I just haven't had the cards, so I built a deck for it. It's Group Hug, technically, but not really. It could care less about whatever is happening to your opponent, and you just give creatures to basically the opponent with no creatures, and you can give away lands if you want, but it's like, it is helpful in case somebody's like falling really behind in the game, and you just want to help out, you know? Give you a nice warm feeling inside, so anyway, that's this deck. I don't know if I ever said it, but Zedruu's a 2/4. I probably didn't say it. And so, yeah, that's what you do with this deck. When I play tested it, it did pretty well. It took infinite turns, then at that point didn't matter, but I did bounce Zedruu back to my hand because reasons. I don't remember how I did that. Somehow I did it. I returned Zedruu to my hand because I was drawing too many cards. I didn't have out my Jace yet. So I was like, return that to my hand until I can get the Jace, and then play Jace, and then play Zedruu, and then win in 2 turns. Because once you're drawing 10 cards a turn, it only takes you 9 turns to deck yourself. 8 turns to deck yourself. Probably 7 at that point because you've given them other stuff, hopefully over time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this deck. It was it's fun to build. It was actually not fun to build, but it's fun to play. Well, no, it's not fun to play either. It's stressful to play because you don't have a guaranteed win con. Nothing synergizes and everything's jank, but it works half the time. And that's probably just me guessing from previous experience and not actually from me doing anything with this deck. But hey, if you like playing Group Hug and this is your kind of thing, good for you. You could also do Experimental Frenzy. That would be fun. Because then you could give Experimental Frenzy to somebody who doesn't play black, and then give it to a blue player. They'd love that. They wouldn't be able to use their hand. You just give it to a blue player. Anything that makes them draw a card would be funny. But Experimental Frenzy is stupid expensive because of standard right now. Otherwise, yeah, there's different ways that you could do it. There's actually a card that should be in here that I'm just not thinking of, but it says, maybe I can find it real quick, because I want to show you guys this card, because this card's really good, and I haven't used it in forever, because I didn't remember that it was back here. But it's such a good card. It says, it's a 1-drop enchantment, and then it says, pay X, look at the top X cards, and then put them back in any order. And then you may pay 5, I think it is, in the shuffle, but I can't remember the name of it. Here, I gotta put down my phone real quick. I'm gonna find this, because this is, like, the best enchantment to play in a deck with blue in it. It's such a good card. Where is it? And I got it actually pretty early when I was building up my collection, so it's called Soothsaying. It's pretty old. Here, I'll show it to you in just a minute. I'm gonna see if there's anything else decent. Oh, I found another Contagion class. That's useful. And also a counter spell. Okay. And an army of power sorcerers. I've effectively found all my missing artifacts. Okay. So it's this. It's called Soothsaying. 1-drop enchantment. pay X pay 5, shuffle your library, pay X, look at the top X in your library, put them back in any order. It's amazing because it's just super powerful. And as one drop, you can get it down turn 1 and then turn 2, look at the top card, and then I don't know why you do that, but you can. And so it's a really good card. I got that Mystic Remora really early when I was building like my collection, and then I realized that Mystic Remora had the cumulative upkeep, and then it was really bad, and so I gave up on Mystic Remora. But yeah, I traded that off to my friend. But this one I kept, and it's pretty good. I need to find my Seedborn Muse. I don't know where that went. I used to have one. I gotta find one. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.